Lush. I'm Executive Editor of Hub Culture. Really pleased to be here in the ICE Hub with Maria Lettini. Thanks very much for coming along.
Delighted to be here.
Executive Director of FAIRR, an initiative by Jeremy Fuller. Delighted to have you guys as a partner here in the ICE Hub at COP26. So tell me what FAIRR is, first of all.
So we're an institutional investor network. Jeremy launched us in December of 2015. We bring together institutional investors, so your Blackrocks, JP Morgan, Strathclyde Pension Fund, really to provide them with expert research and tools so they can better assess the companies in their portfolios, particularly around food and animal agriculture. So we're really helping them identify risks in their portfolios as well as opportunities with the broader aim of safeguarding long-term value of investor portfolios.
So I imagine in 2015 is a bit radical for many investors. Tell me about some of the things that people are surprised to hear when they look at this issue.
Yeah, I mean, it was really quite remarkable. I mean, most of the big headline issues that we talk about today, maybe, you see investors talking about, quite frequently, were just unknown back in 2015. Things like how we produce animal agriculture really contributes to most of the world's deforestation, particularly in the Amazon. Animal agriculture is the #1 user of antibiotics on the planet and one of the main contributors to antimicrobial resistance. The #1 user of fresh water worldwide. So all of these really sort of systemic issues really sit in how we're producing animals for food. And I think most investors and even consumers were unaware of that back in 2015.
So what are some of the changes you're starting to see within this community of investors when they look with the glasses that you're providing to them? What are the changes you see in portfolios or analysis of the way people look at their risk in this regard?
Well, there's a lot of key themes that have really started coming out, and where you saw investors really looking deeply at deforestation 5 years ago. They were mostly coming at it through a palm oil lens, and now they're realizing that land use change in the Amazon, how we're producing feed such as soy, how we're producing cattle and allowing them to graze on these savannas really is contributing to deforestation. It's becoming a material financial risk to their portfolios as well as a reputational risk in many cases. And so, now we have investors divesting from fossil fuels, and in some cases over the past couple of years now, you've actually seen institutional investors divest from companies such as JBS, et cetera, from their investment portfolios because they're not managing deforestation risk adequately. That is a big turnaround that we've seen 5 years ago.
I'm going to put you in the future, not too far in the future. It's 2030. We've achieved the Sustainable Development Goals. Hooray! What does that look like for you from a FAIRR perspective?
I think it means that we're producing food in a substantially different way. We've moved towards ways of producing animals. We've de-intensified, if you will. So one thing that's happened over the past 60 years is this intensification of commodities. For us to be able to support emerging economies, support livelihoods in those economies and in countries, we're going to need to de-intensify, and that's across all commodities. And when it comes to agriculture and meat, fish, and dairy, we need to actually go back and turn the clock back about 50 years so that we're not producing animals so intensively. Right, so we give them more space in which to grow. We're not using antibiotics to prop up the system. We're managing waste in a more efficient way. And I think that's going to be a major game changer in 10 years' time because, quite frankly, we can't keep operating as we're operating now. And the price of meat is much too low, right? If we start to actually factor in some of these externalities that are huge costs to the system, we should be paying a much higher price for meat, which will be more equitable for the entire global system.
Maria, thank you so much for stopping by the ICE Hub. Thanks for being a partner here at COP26 in Glasgow, and I'm Edie Lush.